All right, so I'm impromptu going live here to talk about some cool stuff that's happening with AWS in that I have access to Amazon Bedrock, which is now in general release. I've been playing around with it a little bit before it was in general release, and so I wasn't allowed to say anything about it. But as of a few hours ago, we can actually talk about it. So I thought I would do a weekly live stream on it, which I'll start doing next week on Monday. But I'm also going to really show you as soon as I actually have access to it what you can do. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. And if we go to sharing our screen here, we can actually take a look. And here we go. So let's see what we can do here with Bedrock here. First, let's take a look at some of the features that are available. We have Bedrock, an easy way to build generative AI applications with foundation models. And so the difference here with Bedrock is that you're able to use multiple models. So I think it's very foolish to go all in on an API. I don't think at any point in the history of technology was it a good idea to go all in on a particular service. You want to have a variety of tools, and so that's really what we get with Bedrock here. And you can see here that you can build text generation, you can build chatbots, search, etc. And let's go ahead and get started here. I'm in Oregon, which has the latest foundation models available. So if you are able to get access to it, this is the region that you should check out. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we can do. So you can see here, this is what's really exciting about Amazon Bedrock is that you're able to use lots of different models. So again, I think this is the future of large language models, is not this like kind of strategy where there's just one opaque company that's running everything. What we're going to see is brutal competition, right? We're going to see like ruthless competition for people trying to get a foothold. And this is what you want as the consumer of the service, is many different providers. So we have I think this is AL21 Labs. We have Amazon itself, which is awesome. We also have Anthropic, which is a pretty cool company in that they are a public benefit company. So they're able to actually give you some really good stuff in terms of safety. We have Cohere, which I don't really know a lot about as well. So we have a lot of different providers here, including Stable Diffusion. Now, if we take a look at some of the playgrounds here, this is where you'd want to dive into it first. So if we go to chat, they actually have a nice little chat bot here that you can actually start playing around with. And look, we can select who we want to use a base model for. So first up, let's pick Anthropic. And you can see here that there's actually 3 different models that we can choose. So we have Claude Instant V1, we have Claude V1 1.3, and then we have Claude V2. Let's go ahead and go right to V2. And from here, we would add some instructions as a human. So one of the things that we could just start off with is, I've been on this whole natural food kick here. So I'm going to say, give me an example of healthy food that is not ultra processed. Okay. And we go ahead and we can run this. And now we have this interface here. So what's really cool about this is that you can actually do all of this from right inside of the interface from AWS, which is pretty awesome. And if you scroll down here, you could even look at update inference configurations, is that we can tune all kinds of things as well. So this is a little different than the interface that you would get even if you had a pro subscription to Claude, and that you actually can tweak this a little bit and add new things. Now, there also is text as well, which is another format that you can run. So let's go ahead and try again. Let's say Anthropic, and we go through here, and we go ahead and select Claude V2. And now what I'll do is I'm going to ask maybe a programming question. So let's go ahead and tweak it a little bit, and we can say, what is a good example of an add function that runs in a main.rs REST program. Okay, let's go ahead and ask it how that would work. Here we go. We can see here's a simple example of an add function inside of a main.rust program. So let's go ahead and look at the code here. So we've got a main, and it says let sum add. There we go. And then we have a separate add function here. It looks pretty good, not bad. And look, it actually has some great explanations here as well. So why would you want to use this method? Well, this would let you then dive right into going through and making an API request. So this is actually pretty exciting because you can start to prototype out your large language model inside of AWS, which a lot of people are very comfortable with AWS. You can choose from many different providers. You're not locked into this one particular API, and then you just go into the API request, and you can just start building your applications. Now, some of the other things here that are kind of interesting, if we go back to the base models here, is that you can see the whole list of all of the different models that are available right here. And you can see there's actually quite a bit of different kinds of models. And one of the things that's interesting is that you can actually look at the descriptions and look at the model attributes and even choose which one. So like this one, tightened text G1, this is good for code generation, for example. So if you wanted to call that API. And then we have Jurassic, which is, we can see that this one is maybe good at math, which would be kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and try that one out as well. And if we look at Jurassic here, you can see the API request. So we can go to, why don't we try chat, and let's go to this one, and let's look at Jurassic. And let me just double check again which one is the best at math here. So if we look by provider, I think this is called A1121. So we have ultra. See, this one doesn't show math, and we have mid, model attributes math. Question answering. Oh, this is the most powerful though. So I'm kind of curious why which one is why it says insert edit, but this one says math here. Well, let's pick this one. We'll do Jurassic 2 mid. So I'm going to go back to chat. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to pick mid, and we can just give it some kind of instruction that says, show me how to build a linear regression equation for height and weight. I don't know. We'll see what it does. And what does it give us as a result here? To build a linear regression equation, you can do the following steps. And there we go. We actually have a formula here. So it looks like it knows some algebra, which is pretty cool. And I guess the last thing I was going to play around with that I was going to show is that they have this feature, which I'm going to probably do in a live stream maybe next week, which is that you can actually fine tune a model. You can purchase, provisioned throughput as well. So this is really cool, which is that you could take one of these base models here and you could fine tune it with some other data, maybe your own labeled data set, and then you could actually customize it. So I think this is what we're going to see 2024, is that this is probably going to be a hotbed of innovation. Again, it is strange to think that you would only pick one particular company to do some kind of solution. What we really want is a lot of competition. We want flexibility, and I see that this is going to be a big deal for many corporations, especially because you're going to be able to have fine-tuned training and also data governance, right? So that the data is actually in your own AWS account. So pretty exciting service here. To be totally honest, one of the most exciting services AWS has launched in some time. I'm going to do a weekly, kind of building demo on this each week, but see you soon.